And welcome to Before Nashville, where we introduce the country stars of tomorrow to the country fans of today. And tonight I've got a special guest. She's going to be joining me here in just about 60 seconds. We have to do a quick break with a couple of things before we get started. Got to show our sponsors some love, so we'll get into that. And then we will have our special guest on for the night. So stick around. Unlike any other. Cities is an apparel brand designed by incorporating actual military war units. Stars of tomorrow to the country fans of today. Let me get that off my face and then we'll get on with this. Tonight, I have a very, very special guest. And before we go any further, I want to say this. If you have any questions, by all means, shoot it to us on Facebook and I'll pass those along. Now, our guest tonight is a country girl that was raised in the city. I know that makes no sense whatsoever, but you will understand what I'm talking about. Joining me tonight is Bree Jaxson. Bree, how are you?
I'm good. How's it going?
It's going great. I apologize. Sometimes I look away because I have my monitor here, my camera here, and I'm a radio guy. I'm not a TV guy. So I always tend to look at the monitor as opposed to the camera, and they're not one above the other. So you think I would figure that out by now.
I do the same thing, so don't worry.
So, a little bit about you, just real quick. And you were born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland.
I was born and raised 24 years before I moved out, so yeah.
And how did you arrive at country music being in Baltimore, Maryland?
So, growing up, that's kind of what I gravitated to, and my parents listened to it. My dad listened to it. My grandmother listened to it. My mom was more of like a deadhead. She was into heavy rock. I cannot say I got it from her, but I just always resonated with it. I felt like vocally, especially, that's where I stuck. And so, obviously I grew up in the city, so hip hop was also my jam at the time and still is. I will always rock some Tupac in my car, but at the end of the day, I want to sing country.
So, do you ever rock Tupac on stage, though? That's the question everybody wants to know.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to start doing that. I
There
don't
you
know.
go.
I don't know. I'd have to be a little censored, but we'll figure.
A little California love or something, you know?
Yes. I'm gonna do that just for you at my next show.
You got to record it, TikTok it or something because I got to see that. And you have to do you got to do the the far what let's see which would that be with auto tune? I guess it'd be the far right turn of the auto tune to give your voice that
Yeah,
little
exactly. I will record it just for you.
That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be so. If you're growing up in Baltimore and you're kind of inundated with country music, other than your mom, and no disrespect to her, but who were some of your country influences coming up?
Yeah, so Martina McBride was one of my biggest influences. I got to see her in concert probably when I was like 10 or 11 years old, and I remember
Okay.
her on stage and was just blown away. And then going home and trying to sing all of her songs, and annoying everybody in my house by belting out every word of her songs. But she was one of my favorite. And then obviously, as I got a little older, Carrie Underwood was a huge influence on me. And then now, I love that we have so many females in country music, and they're also inspirational.
Yeah, that I mean, there's a lot of the females have come out. I mean, I know a lot of people say, well, radio doesn't give them much respect, and that may be true. And coming from the radio world, I admit, but
Yeah.
and unjustly we give them not enough love because I mean, you've got like Carrie and you've got Miranda and
Yes.
you've got oh right now Ashley McBride. You got more of them that are coming out as far
Exactly.
as being out there. But when it first started, it was like Carrie and Miranda and just a
Shania, you know.
Shania, just a very select few got any kind of recognition from radio.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely start to see a change now, which is, creating a lot of hope, I think, for other female artists in the industry coming up. Um, so that's a good thing. I think we're slowly getting there, right? It's going to be a
Mhm.
process.
And it will get there. I mean, I see a lot more, now Gabby Barrett and
Yes.
I'm trying to think of all these female artists in my head, and sadly, there's so few that you still can't come up with all of them. But you've got Gabby Barrett, and then you've got Mickey
Lauren
Guyton,
Alina, Lindsay
Lauren
L.
Lena, yeah, Lindsay L. We love Lindsay L. Just
Love
love that
her.
little
Yeah, I did a
girl, all
writing.
4'11" of her.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I did a writing workshop with her, and she is just the sweetest.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
we actually met her. I think it was the first time she toured in the U.S. because she's from Canada,
Canada, yeah.
and she was on the road with, I believe, was it Dan and Shay? I don't remember who she was opening for. She was opening for somebody, and we went back to meet her. And this has been like probably 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we got to see her again a couple of years ago and went back again. And a buddy of mine works for her record label. And so we went back and got to spend a little extra time. And we showed her that picture that we took of her.
Oh,
And it was hilarious, her response. It was like, seeing the baby in the bathtub with the butt up in the air type of picture.
yeah. Well, man, I'm jealous. I'm gonna come with you guys next time.
We have a lot of fun, but I mean, you got like all these female artists that are coming out now that are just killing it. I mean, Lainey Wilson, she's another big one
Yes,
right
I love
now, and
her.
her song "Things a Man Ought to
On a
Know,"
no, yep,
the first number one by a female in how long,
it's
you
crazy.
know, and so just a lot of females coming around. And as you're growing up, now you're listening to Martina and you're listening to Shania and some of these other the '90s and the early 2000s and up into that. At what point did you say that's what I want to do?
I think honestly, I knew from the time I was little. I recorded, my first time in the studio when I was 4 years old. Aunt was a singer as well, and so I just knew that's what I wanted to do, and I would always put on performances, for my family at the house, and um, so watching them, I think it was just looking into what I wanted to do in the future. It was just I wanted to be on that stage, and I think that they kind of gave me the inspiration to go for it.
Awesome. And now, as you're, I mean, you said that you were in Baltimore until you were 24. So, and if I remember what I read correctly, you went to a performing arts high school.
I did. I went to Patapsco High School, so it's in Baltimore, where we used to go compete, around at a show choir. So,
Okay. And what was that experience like from a country point of view?
um, so we did no country music at all. It was mostly show tunes and show choirs, but I think it kind of gave me, you know, the experience to learn some stage presence, right, and to not be so shy on stage. Because I'll be honest with you, starting out, it's a scary thing. You get up there and everyone's staring at you. So it kind of gave me that little bit of a push in high school to step out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I think it's definitely helped me now. Getting up on stage and being able to perform my own music.
Okay. And so after that time, you get out of school and when you really jumped headlong into country music, how old were you at that point?
So to be honest, I got out of high school and music wasn't considered a real job, and so everyone told me I had to go to college or go do something with my life. And so I ended up joining the military. I joined the Air Force in 2010 and spent, 9, 10 years doing that, graduated from college. And I realized that, I loved doing it. I loved, being able to provide that support for my country, but I wanted to get back to what made me happy. And so I released my first single that I actually wrote in 2018 and have kind of just skyrocketed since then. And I will never turn back to not doing music.
Now, I want to get into the Air Force thing for a bit because we have a lot of military background folks that watch
Awesome.
everything from. We actually have one of our, he's another artist, but he is in the Army Reserve. Mark Perkins is on, and we have some Army Rangers that follow us. We have Air Force. We have other Air Force that follow us. We have
Love that.
from one end to the other, everything in between.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are faithful watchers and listeners of the podcast. So when you decided to go into the Air Force, what was the first thing that made you think, I want to serve my country?
Yeah, so I did ROTC all throughout high school, and so I had really, really awesome mentors. I had a really good command sergeant major and a really good lieutenant colonel Army side that kind of really helped me through some hard times. And
Mhm.
camaraderie that I got from them, I knew I wanted to be a part of something bigger. And so when I decided to join the military, I had a couple of friends that had already joined, and kind of looking at it and looking at this country. And obviously 9/11 hit when I was still young, but seeing what others were sacrificing to kind of give me the life that I wanted to lead, I felt like it was my duty almost to give my time, right?
Mhm.
And be there, be that support, and be that hand for other people that couldn't do it. And so I initially didn't think I was going to be in for as long. I've been in for almost 13 years now. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, the experiences and the people that you meet, it's something that you wouldn't get anywhere else. And I've been able to say, as I'm deployed right now,
Yeah.
I've been able to I feel like I've made a difference. And so I think that's what, has kept me going.
So now you were actually deployed in Afghanistan,
Yeah. Yep.
and you were building bombs and rockets and missiles.
Yes. So I spent the first 9 years of my military career building bombs and rockets and missiles for the A-10. And it was a cool job, man. It was a cool job. I ended up commissioning. I'm now an officer, and I do cyberspace, so like cyber warfare.
Okay. So the first question comes to my mind, and I'm sure a lot of people's. You're in Afghanistan, first off, and at that point, it is probably not very friendly. Okay.
Absolutely not.
You don't even, if you're outside the wire, as they say, you don't even breathe the fact that you're from the U.S. for fear of what will happen. But even inside the wire, it's still not safe. And you're building bombs and missiles and rockets and messing with those kinds of things. Now, was there ever, and you may have been on the opposite end of the assembly line, so to speak, but did it ever cross your mind, if something happens and I cross these wires, it's going to be uglier than what it would be if I hadn't crossed these wires?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I will say we have specific instructions that we have to follow to a T for that purpose. But we're trained really well on our jobs, and we have really good leadership that also makes sure that we're doing safe. So honestly, we were more worried about the rockets that were coming into us than the ones that we were building and sending out.
Absolutely, and I can see that very much. Now, how did that experience in Afghanistan and with warfare and the meticulousness, if that's a word, the meticulity, whatever you want to call it. The How did that prepare you for a career in country music, or help you for a career in country music?
So I think honestly, this is a hard industry, right? And there's so many people that want to do what you want to do. And so I think being able to kind of have that perseverance and, having to keep going even when you get setback after setback after setback, that's something that the military teaches you too, right? Like no matter what happens, you're going to fail at some point, but you got to keep going. And I think that's what has been the biggest driving factor in my success so far in country music is just keep going, like not everyone's going to like you. You're not always going to hear yes, but if this is what you want to do and this is your dream, then you just have to keep working at it. And so that dedication has kind of kept me going.
Does it feel like you're in a war zone sometimes when you're dealing with country music?
Yes, because you just want so bad for people to listen and hear you. And sometimes they don't, which is fair. That's but you're kind of like scraping and clawing to get somewhere and you just haven't got there yet. So, well, I haven't got there yet anyway, but
Right. And there's a lot of independent artists that are out there. I mean,
oh,
your style of music, first off, it takes from all of your like jazz, rock, pop,
yeah.
even the hip hop and the other stuff. I mean, you kind of incorporate everything whenever you're writing a song. And now in your songwriting, who are some of the people that have influenced you in the way that you write?
So I really like, I kind of discovered Lauren Lena a couple years ago,
Mhm.
and she was new to me. Um, and I love listening to her lyrics because I feel like they're relatable, but they really tell a story. And so when I sit down and I really write, I try to think of exactly the story that I want to tell and the feeling that I'm trying to convey. And so when I listen to other artists and I get kind of inspiration, I really love Lindsay L, Cassidy Pope, Raylan. I like to keep my songwriting to the females. I think that they kind of resonate with me a little bit more. But they all tell stories, and that's kind of what I want to convey when I write my songs.
Hmm. And I mean, from what all the ones you're telling me, and I will say it this way, you are into the movers and shakers of the female artists right now.
I am. I love it. I love it so much. I just love seeing them up there and doing their thing.
Yeah.
Female supporting females here.
I mean, you've got the ones you mentioned, Cassidy Pope, amazing artist, came from a rock background, won the voice. Well, she
Yes.
was on the voice, won the voice, and then went on to do country, and she did well, and then kind of dropped off the map for a little bit, and that's part of the downside of I think the females and even the males suffer that too. I'm not just going to say the females are the only ones; the males suffer it too, but the females will kind of get out of the limelight. Now Cassidy's starting to make her way back in. Jana Kramer's another one. She did really well,
Yes.
One Tree
I
Hill, and
love her
then
new
uh,
song. Her
she did what
voices.
was the some insurance agency commercial. She did that, and then
Oh, did she?
Voices. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I remember seeing. I think first time I saw it was Super Bowl. They played
Nice.
it during that, and I was
I
like, "Wait,
didn't.
that's Jana Kramer. Wait a minute, that's weird." And, but
I love her. I love her right now.
oh,
I think she's gonna really start to come up after all the stuff she's going through. So
yeah, Voices and I was just reading an article about her uh, last week and Voices, and it reminded me a lot of as I was reading also some stuff about you and looking at different articles and things like that, trying to get to know Bree from my side. And you guys have some things in common, unfortunately, in your lives, I think, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, but you can both relate when you're writing. Voices was written from a point where she kind of like she tried to make things work and it just couldn't. She did everything she could, and then finally it's just like I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, and I love that song, and I'm really proud of her for releasing that. I know it's really hard, especially putting yourself out there and putting out a song that's so personal, and especially exposing your relationships and your life and your personal life to the world. So I give her props on that. I know it's hard.
And it's the funny part is because again I read a lot about the country music industry and the radio industry and things like that. And I was reading an article today that was talking about radio DJs and putting yourself out there, letting people get to know you. And it's kind of like an artist, but we're not writing a song. I mean, I can't write a song to save my life. I can give you a title all day long.
Perfect. You do the titles and I'll do the writing.
There you go. I won't even take the full, whatever.
The royalties for it.
Yeah, the full 0.003 cents of, I won't even take half of that. So you can keep it all. But it is, there's a lot of that that's intertwined. And I think the biggest thing about country music and listening to your songs, um, they do exactly what country music should, and that's tell a story,
Good.
um, and tell it in a very good way. Now I'm going to butcher this because I don't have the title of that song in front of me. I know, and my cursor is not where it needs to be. I'm working with a two screen setup here, folks. So just bear with me, okay? So I, it's not that I get dyslexic, but I feel that way sometimes. It's like I'm
What's
not
hard?
going
You're
the
like, where
right
do I
direction.
look? What am I clicking?
Yeah. Um, Make Me Hate You. That was the
Yeah,
title of the song. And it was basically you were going through a rough time in your marriage, I believe.
I was.
And that's the way you felt. I mean, that's what you wanted to do, but you couldn't.
Yeah, so I actually just got off a 6 month deployment, and my marriage was in a really hard place, and we couldn't figure out, whether to just call it a day and get a divorce or whether to stick around. And we were separated at the time, and he was moved out, and I just remember being so defeated one day, and sitting on my bathroom floor because for some reason I write the best on my bathroom floor, um, and just wishing like he would do something that I would hate him for. So it would be an easy choice, right? Like, you did this, I can move on, and it didn't happen, and we ended up working things out, and it was a really hard thing for my husband at the time for me to release the song because it kind of took us back to that time. But I felt like it was important as an artist. This is how I felt. And I feel like there's so many people that would be going through the same thing that, might need to hear that. And so I put it out, and I was really happy with the feedback. I got a lot of feedback that people, appreciated it being vulnerable. And in the music video, I don't know if you've seen it, but my husband actually played the male part in the music video. He agreed to it. And so it kind of ended up bringing us together, like in a full circle, weird way.
Well, and that's good. I mean, here's part of the thing. I mean, you can show the vulnerability that you have,
Yeah.
but until you express where the song came from, most people, they don't have to know that. I mean, I'm sure they're all
Exactly.
thinking, well, she just, knows somebody, or this is a scenario that's ran through her head type of thing.
Yeah.
Um, now Taylor Swift, on the other hand, if she hates a
We
guy,
know.
yeah, and you can pretty much figure out who it is too. She doesn't make a lot of bones about it.
Yeah, she does not care. She's like, yep.
Yeah, putting it out there. So, but now when you're I find it funny that you say you do your best writing on the bathroom floor. Um, I is that's not where you wrote Country Heart City Roots, is it?
No, it's not actually. So I wrote that I was deployed again, so sitting in another hotel room. And that song was actually the first song I've probably ever written, ever. And I remember talking to my mom about it, and I said, I just want to like write a song that shows both parts of me. Like, I grew up in the city, I can get down with the best of them, but, at the end of the day, I want to go climb on a four-wheeler and get money. And I remember her saying to me, and in this song, you'll hear it, she said, I got the perfect line. I said, what is it? She said, I like to pop and lock and load. And that was it. And so we took that line and wrote the entire song.
That's great. I love the video for that. I mean, it goes so in line with the song because you're talking about the little black dresses, and and before that, you're out on the four-wheeler, you're standing up on the fender of a tractor, and it's like you're just the all-around female. There are guys out there that just want a girl like you.
Perfect. Don't tell my husband.
No. Well, I'm one of the lucky ones because I have a woman like that. She can wear the black dress, and she was raised on a farm, and she grows a garden in the backyard, and all I do is sit there and watch her.
Typical. No, I'm just kidding.
You're right. I'm the prissy one of the couple. I don't get dirt under my fingernails. I'm kidding, but no, it's just great, and I can, like I said, I see a lot of guys looking at that video, and that's exactly what they're thinking. They're thinking, I want a woman who can party with the best of them, but cleans up good.
Exactly. Yep, and that's exactly what I wanted that video to show. So I'm so glad that it came across like that.
So there's your next song title. I can party with the best of them, but I clean up good.
Yes, I'm jotting that down right now. Giving you credit as you speak.
There you go. Just put my initials out beside there, and you'll think, okay, was this his name, or was I mad at him for some reason?
Exactly.
So, we're going to get into the music here in just a few minutes to the new song, and it's called "Giving Up," and we're going to talk about the backstory on that some, and because I want people to really hear what you've got going on now. The good thing is, you released the first EP. Was it an EP or an album that you released?
No, so actually my EP was supposed to be getting released here in December, and unfortunately, I got emergency activated for the deployment. The day that I actually came into theater, I was supposed to be in Nashville finishing my EP. So unfortunately, that's a little bit on hold until we can get back to Nashville and record that. But yeah.
Okay. So as your first single was recorded in 2018, and then the EP will be released in sometime in the next year.
Yes, sir.
Things settle down and you can get back to doing
yeah.
when you can get back home. Exactly. Now, are you residing in Nashville now? Or are you still in Baltimore?
So I'm actually in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're down there amongst the Texas and red dirt folk.
I am, and I love it. I didn't know what red dirt Texas music was until I got here, and man, have they shown me what it is, and I love it.
It's pretty good stuff. I listened to a lot of it, and of course I listen to a lot of everything, and but I've really been listening to a lot of the Texas and the red dirt. I think they kind of intertwine. I don't think there's a line in the definition of those two. I think they're one and the same.
They're the same.
Like Cody Jinks, of course, Cody Johnson, who's kind of stepped out of that, a la George Strait, moved over into the mainstream. And golly, who else? Creed Fisher, Tyler Booth. Gosh, there's so many. Dylan Carmichael, Randy Rogers Band.
Yes, I saw them at Billy Bob's. I don't know if you've ever been there, but
I never have. That's on my bucket list.
To come.
That's my wife has a good friend that lives just outside of Fort Worth, or down close to Fort Worth, and so she's been down there twice, and I haven't got to go yet. Even though her friend's husband and I, we got to meet and talk and hang out, and so we're hoping to get down there sometime. Either we're going down there, or they're coming up here, and we're going to Nashville, one or the other. So,
well, if you come down here and let me know, I'll come meet you at Billy Bob's.
That works for me because I've never been there. I want to go really bad. So the new single that you got out right now is called "Giving Up." Now, is
It's called
this
Giving
giving in?
In. Yep.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I told you I'd botch it because I don't have it here in front of me. Why didn't I pull that up? I was trying to look and see, is that the EP is called "This Is Me" that's coming out, right?
Yeah, the EP. Yeah.
Okay, and then "Giving In" is the title of the song. And we're going to take a quick break. We're going to play that for you real fast, let you hear it, and then I'll come back with Bree and we'll talk about more about how that song came about, and we'll just kind of go from there and see what other fun we can have. Okay. All right. Here's Bree Jaxson. This is called "Giving In" on Before Nashville, where we introduce the country stars of tomorrow to the country fans of today. All right, Bree Jaxson giving in, and I was starting to get into the air drums there. I was really holding back.
And I was air guitaring over here too. I don't know if you saw.
I was going to ask you, did you, that solo sounded really good? So how did you come up with that and playing it? I mean, you look like you did a good job on that.
So actually, I worked with an amazing guitarist. His name is Chris Condon out of Nashville, and I kind of just let him do his own thing, and he crushed it. So we kept it in the song, and I love that solo.
Yeah, it sounds great in the song, and then you've got very good control because a couple of those notes you were holding out there a pretty long time, and so I was like, wow. I mean, you did go to performing arts school. You sang. I'm sure they taught you how to do that there. But
Yeah.
the song itself, and I read a little bit about it, but I want to get your side of the story. Where did that come from?
So, like I kind of said before, I music has always been my passion, right? And when I got out of high school and I wanted to pursue music, there was a lot of people who kind of shut me down from that. Go to college, get a real job. You're never gonna make it. And I listened to them, unfortunately, and I did pursue that at the time. And when I decided I want to get back into music, I, I just, I'm going to give into this. I'm going to give into my passion, giving into my dream, and I'm going to go for it. And I don't care what anybody else says anymore. And that's kind of where the sound came from. I decided that I'm going for my dream. This is what makes me happy. And here I am.
Right. And the song itself, it's kind of when you listen to it, it's kind of a road trip song. I mean, that's kind of
Yeah,
the whole feel of it is you're just getting out, you're driving, you're just kind of letting go and getting away for a bit.
exactly. That's what, I pictured. Like, I'm just packing everything in my car. I'm going on the road and I'm going to stop when I stop. And this is where I'm at.
Right. Now, is how many songs are on the EP, which again, it's called This Is Me. How many songs do you have on that EP so far?
So there will be 7 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that, I'm guessing that's, of course, the lead single.
Yeah, so Giving In or Country Art City Roots will probably be the lead single on that. And then I have about 3 new songs that are in the works right now that will be on there as well. I have a song called Tough
Oh,
Girl.
okay.
I have a song called Angry coming out that I'm really excited about. And then I have a song called Ride or Die. So it'll be a cool EP. It'll be a cool EP.
It's interesting that you're excited about a song called Angry.
Well, you know.
Maybe we should have just a little bit of sympathy for your husband on this.
No, don't have sympathy for him.
Right. Hey, he gets what he deserves, right? That's the way
Yes,
all men are. We get what we
he's why
deserve.
I'm angry. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you write what you know.
You know what? I'm all
Especially
about experience. So,
exactly. Exactly. Well, I'm going to talk about some experiences with you real quick because I got a little game that I like to play, and
oh no, okay,
so we're going to get into that real fast. But just be patient for just a couple of seconds here because I have to get
sure,
it introed. Okay.
perfect.
So this is a little thing I call "What the hell" because I just ask you kind of off the wall questions. Things that make no sense.
Oh
Um,
man.
but they're fun. They make you think. There's a couple in there that are, I guess, a little bit more sensible, at least for this edition anyway. But I'm going to start off with this one. If animals could talk, who would you say would, or what animal would you say would be the rudest animal?
Oh, probably a rat.
That's a good one.
I don't know.
That's
I
a,
grew up in Baltimore. I was thinking of the animals that I saw growing up.
I thought maybe someone run across the floor and that's what got you. It's like a rat. I'm sure in a much better hotel than that.
No, I'm not. But
I have a statement to make, but I try to stay away from being political.
that's fair. That's fair. We're on the same page, so it's fine.
Yeah. So describe your life as a Christmas movie title. So, what Christmas movie best describes your life? I guess is a way to put that.
Oh, the Griswolds. Patient for sure. That is my life. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And I have 2 children that are crazy. So that or Home Alone. Either one. Either one.
It's a good thing I don't have like the drops from Christmas Vacation that
Oh, I
have
wish
on
you
here.
did.
Because after that, there's one main one I would hit, and I'm sure you know which one that is.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to set up just some that have little drops like that and all.
Yes.
So, so what's the strangest thing that you could say to someone you passed on the street, or the creepiest thing that you could say to a stranger you passed on the street?
Oh my gosh. I know what you did last summer.
That's good. That is excellent. I love that. Oh, I wish other people could remember that one. I've never had
There's
that come
a
up
new
before.
Scream movie coming out. I don't know if you saw it. I love horror movies, so
Yeah, I have not seen that. I did not realize that. So that's cool. But I've never had anybody say that before. I've had some that just, walk by, quiero Taco Bell. I don't know.
yeah, leave it to me to be extra creepy. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm going to remember that next time I go to Nashville. I'm just going to walk down the sidewalk and go, I know what you did last summer.
Yeah, and they're going to think about something that they did, and they're going to go like,
And then as you're walking away, you go, because it's posted all over social media.
I saw it on TikTok.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Oh, that would be great. So you, I'm going to kind of wrap that up because I got some other serious questions I want to ask you here. You now, if you had to classify your music, and this is why I asked this question, I'll preface it with this. I look at country music as having a lot of subgenres. There's country rock, country pop, classic country, and there's so many, the list goes on. There's hip hop, as they call it, and that kind of stuff. If you had to classify your music in one of those subgenres, what would it be?
So I think definitely country rock and country pop. I like to bring a little bit more of a modern feel, not necessarily like classic country, but I also love the rock feel. Like I said, I kind of grew up on 80s rock, so I love a good electric guitar, heavy drums. So yeah, definitely rock and pop for sure.
That's good. I can deal with that after listening to your stuff. Okay. Let me ask you this: Are you using your phone or using a computer?
I'm using a computer.
Is your phone nearby?
Oh gosh, is it gonna like my third picture or something?
Yeah. Show us your third picture.
It's not available. It's dead.
Neither is the other 10,000 that are on here, right?
Yes.
No. The reason I asked that, do you have an iPhone?
I don't. I have an Android. I have the dinosaur phone still.
Okay, so with an Android, here's what I want you to do. I want you to open up your Spotify.
Okay.
And then I want you to tell me the last 10 songs that you listen to on Spotify.
Okay.
I call them the iPhone top 10, but those of us that use Android, it's not fair. So it's just kind of your top 10.
Okay. Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Okay, so I have Knuck If You Buck, Queen by Bohemian Rhapsody, Night at the Roxbury, Kesha, Cody Johnson, Doja Cat, Meg Thee Stallion, John Party, Morgan Wallen, Whiskey. 1, 2, 3. Are we at 10?
I think one more, and I think we'll be there. Is that right?
Okay. I also have Carrie Underwood.
Okay. All right.
A very strange playlist, I feel like.
The first one got me. I was like, there are very few reasons any of that stuff is played. And it has to do with the third picture on your phone.
It's definitely third picture related. We can't show it.
Your husband's going to be texting you going, you can never interview with this dude again. He is a little bit out there.
No, he's going to be like, why are you the the way that you are. That's what he's gonna say.
Right, right. Oh, I should have known. I should have known. Uh, so these are the questions that make you think. I need to do the old Arsenio Hall, things that make you go, hmm.
Okay.
That's what this thing is. You're on a desert island, only person there. You can only have one thing with you. What's that one thing going to be?
A machete.
That's a very good answer.
So
And another one of those that nobody's ever
break up
said.
coconuts so I can have some water.
Exactly. You can eat the inside of it. You can drink the coconut milk. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
It's like these guys that say, "Well, I'm going to take my guitar, and what are you going to eat?
What are you gonna do with it? Please
How you going to kill it? Well, I'm going to spear it. How you going to make a spear?
out of the guitar.
Yeah, I'm going to take a string off. I'm going to cut a point.
I'm making a bow and arrow.
Right. Survivalist training there. Oh my goodness. So the next question is you get to have dinner with a country music artist from the past, someone who's no longer with us.
Oh man.
Who is the artist and what is the conversation or the gist of the conversation?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I probably would go with Patsy Cline. My grandmother loved her. She would literally play all of her cassette tapes. And I don't know. I just feel like that era of country music women were just a different kind of breed. And I would love to have a conversation with her and kind of see what it was like to perform back then.
See the differences and the similarities between then and now would be one of the big things for me. I would just like to know, what was it like for a female artist in your time trying to come up
Right.
in the ranks and getting a song played and
Yes. And
just
she was so
just the
successful.
yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
Patsy Cline, come on. And
Exactly.
I mean, she pretty much wrote the book for female country artists. I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
because then after that you got Tanya Tucker, Tammy Wynette, Barbara Mandrell,
Yep.
on up to Sarah Evans, and then Shania, and on up and up and up until today. A lot of current female artists love Patsy and
Oh
what she
yeah.
did for women in the industry, and I think that's really cool. Um, what's one disappointment that you've had out of the music industry?
So one of the biggest things that I've learned, as I started releasing my own music and kind of learning the industry a little bit, was that a lot of it was money driven. And so for independent artists, it's such a hard, feat to kind of get your music played and your music out there and your music actually, onto any sort of chart to get it played. I wasn't, I didn't know how that worked. I thought, hey, you put your music out there, people like it, that's what happens. And I learned that it's not necessarily the case. And so it was really disappointing to know that money drives a lot of it. And so you're going to have to work 800,000 times harder to even get a little bit of success, because obviously as an artist, I don't have that kind of money,
Right. It's either that or win the lottery. That's pretty much
Yeah, which I'll take either one, honestly.
Yeah, I got my tickets today, although it probably won't help.
Yeah.
The lottery commission hates me for whatever reason. You step back in time and you go back to let's say your senior year in high school. You're 18 and your current self tells your past self one piece of advice. What advice would you give to that past self?
So I would definitely tell my past self to listen to, I want to say listen to your gut, but I almost want to say listen to your heart, right? So 18-year-old self was not going on the right path, not in the right crowd. And, I knew where I wanted to be, but I just felt so almost insecure about it. And I wish I could go back in time and just tell myself to just be you and be okay with it. And, I think that's something that everyone's going to struggle with at some time in their life, but
Mhm.
would have helped me in this industry a little bit more if I could have just started back then and believed in myself then than doing it later in life,
That's good. That's I think that's something a lot of people need to go back and revisit. You know,
For sure. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'm still like, you're okay.
yeah, follow your heart. Don't just do whatever.
Exactly.
And I mean, when you look at your career, I mean, starting out, people are telling you, "Oh, you're not going to make it. You want to get a real job and this other stuff." And you decided to follow your heart and go with the music. Was there ever a regret for that?
No, I mean, the only thing I regretted was not doing it sooner. I have a really successful cybersecurity career, and, I have my bachelor's and my master's, and I've done all of the things that they're supposed to do, and it didn't bring me happiness. And so I wish I would have done it. I wish I would have been able to leap into it sooner. So.
Right. Well, with the cybersecurity stuff you do, I hope there's nothing on here that you feel like you need to get in my computer and delete it for.
I already did that. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, so we're not live at all. This is all fake.
No,
I
this
get
is
it.
a
I get
fake
you're good.
interview.
You are good. That's awesome. Um, Now, if you could go out on tour with one artist, who would that artist be?
I would love to go on tour with Chase Rice. I love his music, number one, and every time I see him, he just looks like he would be the most fun to hang out with and go on tour with. So if he's listening, I would like to come on tour with you.
You got to do the TikTok duet thing with him. That's what's getting everybody.
I've really tried this TikTok trend, and I am just not a TikTok person. I can't do it.
I have it and I put things up on there, but I'm technology's for young folks, and I'm not there anymore.
Well, yeah, even I feel like that. I mean, all these people are doing these crazy transition videos and like lip sync videos, and I can't get it together. I've tried.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife, I mean, she's the social media guru of the family. So I go to her with any
Oh, nice.
questions, or I just hand her my phone and say, "Here, do this."
Can you do this? Yeah, can you just do it for me?
I can't do it. How do I put a song with my TikTok? I mean, how do I
Same.
do that? Where do I find them? They always tell you, go to your song. Where are they at?
Same. I do not get it. My sister's 8 years younger than me, and I'm like, can you figure out how I'm supposed to make this video?
Exactly. It's like, wow, that's just crazy. Um, uh, but and social media. I mean, the thing is, social media has gotten almost a have to for artists.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, that's where I found out about you at was on Instagram.
Yep.
Um, from somebody else and added you on as a friend and then said, "Hey, would you like to come on the podcast?" And that's what I do with a lot of the artists I have on,
Yeah.
you know. And then I'll follow up with emails and that kind of stuff. But um, uh, TikTok is just for it to be the trend that it is becoming because the labels are looking more and more to social media to
To find
find
people. Yeah.
artists. Yeah, that you have to. I mean, you have to know how to do it. You
You
just
do.
have to.
Yeah. I'm gonna take it,
Um,
I guess.
yeah, I had and I've got it somewhere, but I printed it off. It was either in a newsletter that I got or something, but it was kind of like for to optimize your social media. This is how much you need to post to each channel. So you had
Oh my
like your Facebook and your Instagram and your TikTok, and TikTok is like posting daily, and you only get like a certain amount of time. So you do just a little bit, and it's like
Yeah.
Uh, I'm sorry, ain't nobody got time for that.
I know. It's like I'm going to have to hire someone to do it for me.
Exactly.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I have
there's
two kids at work. What am I doing?
yeah, there's another expense with being an artist. You have to hire a publicist or a social media person, and it's like, holy
Exactly.
cow. But it's just it's absolutely crazy. Now, have you ever heard your song on the radio?
So I have just once in North Dakota. There is it's 95.9, and he was. I reached out to the producer there when I released my first "Make Me Hate You," and he was the first person ever played on the radio for me, and it was the most magical experience for me.
Wow. Were you there when you heard it, or did you hear it online?
So I heard it online. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because a lot of artists out here, like after a station visit, they'll play their song right after they leave or something, to give them that. I've done that. Wait till they
That's
leave and then play
awesome.
their song. That way they're in the
Oh, I
car.
love that. They can like go to their car and turn it on and hear it.
Yeah. One of my favorites was Claire Dunn. Claire came to visit me,
Love
and I
her.
played her song at the time. And I don't remember, that's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
Um, but I played it as she was on the road, and she called me and she goes, "I can't believe you did that." And
That's
she goes, "I've
awesome.
never heard it on the radio before." I said, "See, there you go. That's cool. I'm the first. I love that."
That's so cool.
Um, so when you're in the military, you kind of look at long range plans. You look at what an operation is going to hopefully wind up doing.
Yeah.
Um, when you go into any kind of an op, you always have to be prepared for the end result, and hopefully it turns out the way that it's planned. So with your music career, your where do you see that in 5 years?
So I definitely, like I said, I have a couple songs in the works. So I definitely want to be able to release my first EP, my first album. And then I really would like to be able to start touring more and being able to make that my full-time career. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but I have a family that I have to take care of. And so I still work my regular career. So music is, my, not a side job, but unfortunately it can't be my whole life right now.
Right.
And next 5 years, I really would love to just be successful enough to play music and be happy without having to do other things monetarily.
Right. And I mean, so basically you have three jobs. You have the reserves, which you're at now,
Yep.
Air Force Reserves. We'll qualify that. You have the music, and then your day job. And
Correct.
I'm going to ask you kind of what that is, because I can't. I read so many bios, I can't keep them all straight.
Yeah, so I do cybersecurity consulting for a top 500 bank.
Okay. All right. Wow, that's pretty cool. For some reason I was thinking you were a banking consultant. I don't know why.
No, but it would probably be a lot easier. That sounds a
Yeah.
lot easier than my job.
Yeah. Um, so uh, when you're away from serving our country, and I didn't say this earlier, but I will say it now. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Myself and like I said, a lot of the listeners and the watchers and folks that are tuning in, be it on any of the audio platforms. I'll shameless plug here: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, any of those, or on here. We all are very appreciative of our military. Like I said, we have a lot that serve or have served, and several of them have been in battles that were not easy for them to come out of.
I can imagine.
They came out uninjured physically.
Physically, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's one of the things that we really. I have another group that are supporters. It's Three Rangers Whiskey. I'll put them out there real quick. A big shout out to Mark and Dale and Clay and the guys at Three Rangers for all their help. Clay and Dale were portrayed in the movie Black Hawk Down. They were some of the operators in Gothic Serpent. And so they've gotten to be good friends of ours. And so I'll give them a big shout out. And they come on once in a while when they're not traveling the country peddling hooch.
Well, I also want to meet them now, too.
Hey, they will be more than happy to, let me tell you.
It sounds like a good time. I'm here for it.
They're a great time until the next morning, let me tell you. Oh, those are some of the nastiest day afters I've ever had.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I got on Dale the other day because where I live, I have one place I can get their whiskey, and I'm like, you guys support me, just send me a case.
Oh man, wait, what's their whiskey called?
It's called Three Rangers whiskey, believe it or not.
Love it. I'm gonna check it out.
Unfortunately, I don't have a bottle in here with me because I'm out.
Man, we could have toasted.
I know, right? It's like, golly, guys, that's what I keep telling him. I'll even have a glass made with the Three Rangers logo, and I'll drink from it all night long. You know, I mean, come on, guys. But we have a lot of folks that are military, former, I guess, former and serving, but I think the military is one of those things that, you know, when you're in, you never get away.
Exactly.
It's not that they don't let you out. It's just you as a person can't get away. But so a big shout out to Dale and all the guys from Three Rangers tonight. And like I said, they are amazing guys, and they really do. They bring the party.
Good. I would love to meet them. Let me know next time. I will come up there.
Yeah, I tell you what, Dale is the traveler of the group, and I will send him down your way in Texas sometime.
Yes.
I'll tell him you need to go down to the Dallas area and get a hold of Bree Jaxson. Just a quick shameless plug, and I'm not trying to take away time from you, but Civvy's Apparel, it's amazing. They incorporate retired U.S. military uniforms into everything they make, from hats to T-shirts to hoodies to long sleeve T-shirts. I think they even made gaiters at one time that had them on there. And Mina, if I'm wrong on that, I'm sorry, but it's civviesapparel.com.
I'm going to check that out too. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I don't have one of their shirts on tonight because all my Civvy shirts are in the washer. Sorry, Mina.
I'm sure I have some old uniforms. I'll send them to them.
There you go. Hey, they'd love it. Trust me, they would. They would absolutely be overjoyed. And then Heart to Heart Coffee, which is ran by a Air Force veteran, and yep, he was in Air Force intelligence. And we don't let Dale crack the old Marine Corps joke, you know, for all of our Marine buddies. You know, isn't that kind of an oxymoron? And the Air Force is the intelligence side of, you know, the military. Sorry, Dale. I'm going to get a phone call.
Why are you saying this on air?
Exactly. But so if they want to find out more about you, best place to go.
Yeah, you can always get in contact with me on Instagram, my website, breejaxson.com, Instagram, Bree Jaxson Music Official. I do have a Twitter, Bree Jaxson. I do have a Facebook, Bree Jaxson. I do have a TikTok. There may be like 1 or 2 videos. I'm not sure. So definitely the best place to reach me is going to be on my website or Instagram or Facebook.
So now I did notice, and I'm sure that this was a purposeful thing, especially right now, but you don't have, there are no shows listed on your website at the moment, and I'm sure part of that is because you don't know when you're going to be back to do anything immediately.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had some things lined up that had to be canceled, and I will be deployed until further notice, unfortunately. So as soon as I get back, I will hopefully line some things up.
Well, hopefully by that time, maybe it'll be a trip to Nashville that you have to make because I know I'll be there in February for about a week. Uh,
Okay, perfect.
so maybe we can get together and I can call Dale and tell him and a bottle of whiskey to come down.
Yeah. Okay, yes. I'm in. RSVP, yes.
She's already there. Okay, Dale, she's
Dale,
committed.
it's
I'm
up to
committed.
you.
Now you're committed.
Perfect.
RLTW, buddy, come on now, don't let us down. Oh, I need to start using that for a question on for some of these artists. RLTW. What does that mean? So, do you know?
No, I'm like sitting here in my brain. Don't ask me. Don't ask me.
I shouldn't know. It's Rangers lead the way, so that's
Oh, okay. I will know that for when I see
yeah.
him.
Yeah, you'll have to know that one. So, but go to the website, check Bree out. She does have. Let me get over here. Okay, hey, I got it working that time. There's
Yeah.
store. Let's see what's on here. I always like to push, and I'm on the wrong screen again. Where's my cursor at? Let me go to this side. There we go. I always try to, I don't push, but I like for people to go and check out the merch and stuff like that. She does have some t-shirts and a hat and stuff like that. So go check that out. Buy the merch, buy the music. That's what I tell everybody. Buy the merch, buy the music. That's the way you can help these artists. And especially if they're not out touring and Bree is not touring because or performing because she doesn't want to. She is just busy serving our country, and we appreciate that to the extreme. So, thank you very much again for all that. Um, Again, check her out, BreeJaxson.com, and follow her on Instagram. Let's get her a few more likes and follows on her Instagram, and check out her 2 videos on TikTok. We'll hopefully get her to do some more here before long, and
I will try my best.
build that out. Build that up. Who knows? We may have to do one together.
Yes.
Hey,
Deal.
look who I'm hanging out with,
Deal.
and have a bottle of Three Rangers in there too. So we'll cover that.
Shameless plug. No.
Exactly. No, it's not shameless. I'm trying to get him to send me a case of whiskey. It's like, come on, guys, really?
Same.
Yeah, I will give you Bree's address, and you can ship one to her as well. So
Yes, please.
But go check out Bree. It's BreeJaxson.com. Go check everything out. Follow her on Instagram. Follow her on social media. Shoot her a hi. Shoot her a thank you for her service and all that she's doing. And check out the merch. Order a T-shirt. Order a hat. Order 3 or 4. Whatever you feel comfortable with. So, and in the meantime, Bree, by all means, take care. Stay safe.
Thank you.
And I'll be watching your Instagram as our viewers will too to find out that everything's going okay. All right.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was so nice talking with you.
You're so welcome. That's Bree Jaxson, BreeJaxson.com. Coming up Thursday night, I've got Sabin Sharp on with me, and he's got a new song out. So we're going to talk to him on Thursday night. And we'll ask him some of the same questions or some along those lines. You never know. But until then, you guys take care. Have a great night. And we will talk to you real soon.
Bye, guys.